demo, I'd like to show you a few new features in Lightwave 8's Modeler. For starters, I'd like to just point out that the tabs up here, it looks like the names are actually kind of crazy looking. And really it's because I've shrunk down my work area as small as I possibly can for recording the screen here. And just to give you a quick idea, there it is. So they just collapse in, as well as the toolbar over to the side, over to the left side. That's going to collapse as well, which might look a little odd if you're used to working at a larger screen size like I am. So I'll do my best at tracking things down with the short names here. So let's get started. Let's load in an object to play with. So I'm going to load in a character head. I like working with characters, so that's what we'll use. So we've got this character. Let me switch to Wireframe Shade, and I'm going to use this new button we looked at in one of the other videos. It's the minimize maximize for each viewport. It's the same as hitting 0 on the numeric pad, but sometimes you are stuck without a numeric pad, like on a laptop. In this case, I have a numeric 0, but I'm going to go ahead and use I've gotten used to using these little widgets. So I'm going to zoom in, and let's take a look. This is a fairly low poly head, and I tried to use edge loops where possible to help with animation. And we've got some new selection tools that we can take a look at. I'm going to select a couple points, and under selection that's collapsed down, I can select loop, and it'll select the points in this edge loop. I can also deselect those, select a couple polygons, and come in here and select the polygons in the edge loop. This is very handy. I used to cheat and use bandsaw as a selection device. I would just turn off enable cut, and I would just use bandsaw, but this is much easier. We've also got some cool new selection options where I can go in and grab some geometry, grab some polygons, and I can select the outline. And what it'll do is it'll select the points that make up those polygons. See, there's the polygons, and there are the points. Okay. I also can go in and select a few points and select the polygons that the points make up. And I won't go into all the different selection types. We've got a lot of new ones. I just wanted to touch base on a little bit. Let's go in and look at some of the exciting new edge tools. Now, Lightwave only selects with points or polygons at this point, but we do have some tools that allow you to work with the edges. Let's take a look. I turned off subpatches just so that we can get an easier look at it. So I'm going to come in and deselect those points, and I'm just going to select a few points here along this edge, and I want to bevel that. So I'm going to come over to the multiply tab and choose edge bevel. Now I get these blue temp lines, and I can work with those. If you notice, it's not actually interactive with the object. This is real handy when you have a high poly object and you want to work on it and not have it slow down the OpenGL window. And all you do is you can use the left mouse button to kind of gauge how wide open you want the bevel to be, and then you left click to make it happen. But usually the way I like to work is just in interactive mode, and I can bring up the numeric panel for edge bevel, and I'm going to uncheck the preview mode so that I can actually work interactively. And we'll go ahead and use that. Edge bevel is great for adding wrinkles. In this case, wrinkles to the forehead, just adding some extra detail in there. Now, to show off some more of the edge tools, I'm going to go ahead and leave this, even though I purposely didn't model it with that because I didn't think it needed it. But say I wanted to get rid of that. Well, it's easy. What I could do is I could undo, but say the model already had that. Well, normally what I do is I just start welding these points. The problem with welding the points is if I weld these 2 points together and carry across, what will happen is I'll get rid of this extra geometry, but I'll be creating 2-point polys. And I'm sure that many of you have experienced that, where you're working on an object and you end up with some 2-point polys that cause some rendering problems because you weren't aware that they were there. Well, there are some cool new features that allow us to work with that. We've got some new edge tools here, and in this case what I'd like to do is use reduce edges, and what that allows me to do is just click on the edge, and I'm left clicking and then right clicking. Left clicking to bring it together, and then right clicking to say that basically I want to make that, I want it to be applied. And here's what's really cool. I just got rid of all that extra geometry. The same way if I were to weld it together, the difference is if I bring up my statistics, these are points, I'm going to toggle over to polygons with the spacebar. If you notice, there are no 2-point polygons. It doesn't save the 2-point polygons like it would if I were just merging the points together, welding the points. Okay. I also have the ability, I'm going to undo that. I also have the ability to just, that was reducing the edges. I can also just remove an edge. I click, there's the blue line, that's what it's going to remove. If you notice, now I just created an n-gon. I just got rid of that edge, and I can just continue to, and the reason it's looking like it's disappearing is it's non-planar. But there we go. I just got rid of those edges. I'm going to undo that. Okay. What I can also do is add edges. This is a pretty nifty tool here. I can go in and just start drawing from edge to edge and drawing in a line. Here we go. Work my way around. There we go. So I've just drawn in this new line, kind of like the knife tool, but just working from edge to edge. And those are just a few of the tools. I'm going to keep this one short for file size purposes, and we'll start up another video here in a few minutes and take a look at some more of the new exciting features in Lightwave 8.